Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesday Tapestry, the video version. Nice to have you with us today, and today we're going to talk about a very important subject, and that is fair trade, particularly Catholic Relief Service fair trade. And I'm so honored and privileged to have with us today Carla Aguilar, who works with Catholic Relief Services, and she's visiting our diocese here in Salt Lake City for a few days, and she's kind enough to be on our Tuesday Tapestry. So welcome, Carla.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you so much. It's definitely a pleasure being here in the diocese, and I also want to thank you so much for what you do on the CRS board as well.
Thank you. It's kind of you to say. Carla, this is a very interesting topic, and I think that a lot of our viewers will be interested in it as well. We hear a lot about fair trade, or maybe we don't hear enough about fair trade, I'm not sure. But it's an intriguing concept in terms of bringing a lot of our Catholic Christian principles to the marketplace and really to world justice. Can you just give us an idea, what is fair trade, first of all?
Sure. Well, we obviously know a lot about the plight of people sometimes. And so we know that there are over 2 billion people in the world who are living on less than $1.25 a day.
Wow.
And so they're startling statistics, obviously, and I think the gospel message is clear. And so Catholic Relief Services is working to kind of raise awareness on fair trade because this is a huge issue for us and a justice issue as well. And so fair trade basically provides a fair wage for people. And it's an economic model that really tries to uplift people. And so we know that in conventional trade, oftentimes the overriding concern is profit and not people. Mm-hmm. And so fair trade tries to be an alternative to that and to really pay a fair wage, provide opportunities for safe work environment, and also adopt different practices that are very care for God's creation. And so there's a lot of emphasis on organic farming and things like that. So so it's in essence really about right relationship. So right relationship with employer to employee, right relationship with the earth, and then also providing an opportunity for us in the United States to be socially responsible consumers. So the CRS Fair Trade program really targets the Catholic community.
So that's how CRS differs from fair trade in general, is emphasis the Catholic community. Okay.
It definitely emphasizes the Catholic community, and also because Catholic Relief Services is the official humanitarian agency of the U.S. Catholic Conference of Catholic Bishops, when things are purchased through the CRS Fair Trade program, a part of those proceeds go into what is called the CRS Fair Trade Fund, which provides development grants for some of these producers overseas. So, we've journeyed with Guatemalan coffee farmers and provided grants so that they can, have different upgraded techniques for roasting or for packaging. And so a lot of these farmers live in isolated regions of the world where they don't necessarily have access to some technologies or credit or things like that sometimes we take for granted. And so we're really on the ground just trying to promote human life and dignity.
And it's an important thing you bring out to me, because I know a lot of times you mentioned earlier, Carla, that companies and understandably, I mean, they're in they're in business to make money. But human beings can be used, and they can be seen as expendable. And they could, for example, we hear stories of like sweatshops and things like this. And I think just recently it seemed to me that a big technology firm who uses a lot of labor overseas, it became a huge deal. I think it was with Apple products and the iPad or something. And so I'm really glad to see. I know the Church has always championed the rights of individuals, that the sanctity of life, the importance of human beings, and that work is something that's meant to honor human beings and fulfill human beings, and not the other way around. Human beings don't serve work, but work serves human beings. So I'm really glad to hear that. What would you say, in terms of CRS's mission or goals, what would be some of the goals you have around fair trade now for our listeners? Some practical things that our listeners could, because I'm listening to you now and say, well, gee, I don't own a company or what. What can I, as a Catholic here in the Diocese of Salt Lake City, what can I do to promote Catholic Relief Services fair trade?
Sure. So the way our program works is that we've actually set out different companies and are working with companies who have guaranteed to be 100% fair trade. And so we are working in partnership with these companies, U.S.-based companies, who have formed relationships with different producer groups all over the world in 3 areas. So we have a chocolate partnership, a coffee partnership, and a handcraft partnership.
Good. I don't drink coffee, but I like chocolate. I like handcrafts. So
Well,
that's good.
there you
I'm
go.
all set.
There you go. There you go. And so if people visit our website, they're able to access and learn a little bit more about those companies.
Okay. So so we can educate ourselves.
Exactly. So just kind of learn a little bit more about who they are and what fair trade is, and learn a little bit more about who they're connecting with, which producers are connecting with. So fundamentally, what we try to really advocate for is that purchasing a fair trade product off of our website isn't just purchasing a fair trade product. It really is an expression of global solidarity, we feel.
How would I buy fair trade coffee from CRS? I can't go down to the corner store, I don't guess, so how do I do that?
Right. So our website, it really is a fabulous tool that is not only just an educational tool, but also provides lots of links, like I said, to these companies. And so if anybody's interested in visiting www.crsfairtrade.org.
www.crsfairtrade.org.
And so right there's a very simple tab that says products. And if people click on products, it'll take you through all of the 3 products that I mentioned, coffee, chocolate, and handcrafts. And our chocolate partnerships are Equal Exchange and Divine Chocolate. Exactly. So Divine Chocolate obviously has a very unique story. They're a cooperative in Ghana.
Great.
Who's used, fair trade also includes a social premium. So there's a little extra cost, but that social premium really goes into a collective fund for the cooperative, where they, because they cooperatives democratically organized, are able to use those social premiums for the betterment of their community, so the common good of their community. And so
it goes back into the community.
It goes back into the community. And so what
Perfect.
Coapa Coco has been able to do is they've been able to install water wells in their community. And so it's given them access to water, where and really just promoted a lot of health in their community, given that women were walking 8 miles or spending 8 hours a day walking to get water, and they're now able to do that, which has really just been monumental.
Let me back up a little bit too now. It's just really good to hear this, and it's so neat to be able to think that you can still have your coffee, your chocolate, your handcrafts, and for example, and yet be really making a contribution to these wonderful people who are manufacturing, making these products, and then it goes back into the community. Now, you'd mentioned before that it can be organic, but of course, because it's fair trade doesn't necessarily mean it's organic. It just means that they do tend to emphasize practices that are going to be good to the earth, good stewards of the earth, not polluting our earth. And I guess it could be organic, but not necessarily. Is that right?
Right, definitely. So there's different labels for everything, and so like I said, because the website is an educational tool, we actually have a resource that says what's the deal with the seal, because I think there's a fair trade seal and there's an organic seal, and they're all different practices, but basically fair trade, there is a commitment to eliminate pesticides and things that are harmful to our earth.
Now, you mentioned you can join the CRS Fair Trade Network. What does that mean to join it?
Sure. So we invite people to also participate in economic justice through our program. So we have a network and a newsletter that people can kind of sign up on via our website. And just kind of receive regular updates about, what's going on in the fair trade world and, how CRS is responding to some of these things. And also kind of get some tips on how to incorporate fair trade in their parish or in their diocese. And so, we've learned of so many different groups who are, hosting coffee fundraisers after church, or having, fair trade coffee and donut hour.
Well, good. I think we're coming to the end of our time, but I can't thank you enough, Carla. This has been very enlightening, and I really feel inspired to go online and to join, and I will be sure to do that, and I think it's a wonderful thing to do. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us, and thank you for all you're doing in this. This is a wonderful, wonderful work, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing more about it in our diocese, and so God bless you, good luck to you in all you're doing, and I hope you enjoy your visit here in Salt Lake City.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Once again, thanks to Carla Aguilar, and may God bless you.